episode is proudly sponsored by BP Me Rewards.
Welcome to the world's #1 podcast, Soccer A to Z, or the A to Z as we like to call it. We are the People's Podcast, saving football whilst helping society.
Is he still going? Still like that?
You don't have to like football to join our family. We'll take anyone who is nice and kind. Yes?
Yes.
What if they're just nice or just kind?
They generally go hand in hand. This week, the letter that has inspired our potentially award-winning content is E. We should do some awards on this show, shouldn't we? At one stage, coming up soon. We used to do awards on Soccer AM, didn't we? We
won it every year, didn't we?
I think we should do like a one...
Gold sprayed remote control.
I think we should do one award for like a Mercury Award. You know, like they only have one award and just hand it to one footballer and see if then we can get some sort of like, you know, make people want that one award.
Yeah.
So we think about all the categories. Were you good? Were you nice? Were you good in post-match interviews? Do you have a good style? Whatever. And we find one player that we would give it to.
I like it.
Yes, Helen.
I like it.
Yeah, but is the trophy going to be absolutely massive or tiny? Because do you remember we did Ferdinand v Ferdinand and the trophy was enormous, and then we did Terry v Terry and the trophy was the smallest one you'd ever seen?
If we give it to a Premier League player, they got big old houses, haven't they? We'll make it as big as we can.
Right, so it's massive.
Size of a dustbin.
Lorry.
Yeah, let's make it absolutely huge. So we'll do that around the new year when people do awards. Yeah. We'll give like the show's Player of the Year. Or should we give it to no, let's give it to a player. Anyway, as we know, it's a squad game. Today's team,
Work in progress.
The First Lady of Football.
It'll sort itself out.
I'll tell you it will happen, though. You know it will. The First Lady of Football is zooming in from her farm. It's Helen Chamberlain. Couldn't get Colonel or Ginger, but Robbie is here. Here's Tubes. I'm back. Lovejoy. And last but not least, the triple threat himself, Sheephead Joe. Or Joel.
You normally leave pauses where we say hello in that, but you just rushed through that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was boring, wasn't it?
Busy show this week. Just got to get through it.
Yeah, we have got a busy show.
Mm.
We have got a busy show. Let's go to Chamberlain's farm. See, before we speak to Helen, can I say I was on the phone to her this week and it really made me laugh. We were discussing some old nonsense, I don't know, usual stuff. And just as I was leaving, Helen went, "Oh my God, has the dog just eaten my dinner?" And then she said something like, "Oh, Kenneth. Oh, is your dog called Kenneth?"
Kenny.
Oh, I thought you said Kenny. Oh, Kenny. And then her dog had eaten her dinner.
took my sandwich off the side and ate it all. Yeah.
And also, Helen, Brendan McGowan off Twitter has said you missed a big pig name for Helen's unhealthy custard cream muncher, Paolo One Chop. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's very good. So how is life on the farm?
Well, the small holding had to fend for itself for a few hours on Saturday while I went and watched Torquay win at Hampton and Richmond away.
Big fixture.
Like two teams as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the small holding's okay. We've had a lot of rain overnight, which is always tricky. Animals in the rain everything takes twice as long. But there are new piggies on the small holding, everyone.
What, you found some, have you?
I didn't find any this week. They found me. I'm fostering a couple of Tamworth pigs. Tim, you'll be pleased to know. It's a cod Birmingham accent.
All right, skip a cup of tea.
They are, Tim, you'll be pleased to know they are both women pigs. Women pigs.
Good.
Yeah, so that messes up your naming of the pigs. But I've called them Sandra and Pam, because they were Pinky and Perky.
Surely you should have called one of them Spam.
Yeah.
You know, I toyed with Pam because I thought Pam, ham, spam.
Yeah.
There we are. And there's only one dedicated pig rescue service in the whole of the UK. And it's called Every Pig. And it's just two women run it, Sarah and Georgina, which is admirable because there's absolutely nothing sexy about pig rescue at all.
Oh,
there's
that's
no
your opinion.
Fur, there's no whisk.
Yeah. Spam Hog, the fashion designer. Sorry, I was still thinking a bit. Pig.
We were listening. We were also just thinking.
Do you know what? What do pigs eat? I thought they ate humans. That's what you.
Yeah.
Oh my!
That's what you see in all the gangster movies. Don't
they do.
Feed them to
that's
the
their favourite food.
Yeah.
They eat other stuff if they can't get human, but that's their preferred food.
Right. I went around Ray Winston's house once, and he keeps pigs, and I thought, hello.
Yeah.
What's that scene?
What's that scene in Lockstock? feed him to the pigs.
They do.
With the geezer with the glasses.
Helen, can you confirm pigs eat humans?
Lovejoy.
I tweeted a picture of the pigs, and one of the replies was, "You do realise that if you die in that pen, that pig will eat you now."
Oh, is it true they eat anything? Vegetable, mineral, human?
No, they don't. They don't eat onions.
Or
They've got some standards.
But
They don't like
do they eat meat?
mushrooms.
Yeah, they eat humans. They eat everything.
Really?
They
Would it eat
will
like
me.
chicken?
Yes, yeah. The pig that was poorly, she's better now. She helped herself to a chicken one day. I think it was laying an egg in her bedroom, so she just ate it.
My daughter, Joe, nature's not very nice. My youngest daughter, refuses to watch natural history programs, David Attenborough and any of that stuff. And every time I make her sit down, she goes, "I don't want to watch this." I go, "Why?" She goes, "Animals are so cruel to each other." And within five minutes, something's eaten something else or killed something else or whatever. So
nature's unfair, like the football.
It is like
quiz,
football, like football, yeah. Okay, Robbie, let's go to you. Last week we found out that, by the way, can I do a quick warning before we go to Robbie? Because Robbie is an influencer, so he's very good at influencing people. That's his job. Be very
the noble trade.
Very careful when you listen to this, because you might get influenced. So everything he says, be very careful. Make sure you think about it.
He's very manipulative.
If he comes up with any ideas, wait 30 days before you act on them. That sort of thing. Okay, Robbie, last week you were going on a pub crawl around Europe.
Yeah, I went drinking in as many different European countries as I could. It was supposed to be with a friend, but in the end it was just me, which is a bit bleaker and a bit sadder. And it was actually all right. It was good. I'm not going to say the final total. But I'm going to say
because you're saving that for
my video.
YouTube channel.
I will.
Okay, that's
but in a week's time or so, I will tell you. But let's just say at least 5.
Whoa!
Can you say your favourite country? 50. Can you say your favourite country?
Oh, I really liked either Belgium or Germany. It's both good beer countries, aren't they?
Did you influence any Belgians?
Probably inadvertently. When you're that high level of influencing, you're just doing it without knowing it sometimes.
They easily influenced Belgians?
I don't know.
Do your kids know you're an influencer?
100%.
They don't make YouTube videos, which is a preferred phrase.
What about your podcast? How's that going? Moon Underwater.
Moon Underwater. William Hanson on this week. Got Jack Mate from popular other podcasts.
That's your podcast.
I know, it's a crossover. It's like a
YouTube collab.
Right. Yeah, like some, I don't know, can't think of a reference.
Let's go to Tubes. Tubes, are you an influencer?
No, absolutely not.
Are you sure? Aren't you
I'm a bang average golfer.
Aren't you a golf influencer? Don't you?
Yeah,
influence?
You
I
do.
watch you play golf and I think, oh, I fancy a go at that.
Yeah.
So I influenced you?
Yeah, influencing me to play golf.
Well, maybe I am then.
Yeah.
Buzzing.
Could be.
I'm a golf influencer. And this golf influencer witnessed one of the best games ever on Golf Life last week.
What, better than the Ryder Cup?
Oh no, that's not on Golf Life.
Yeah.
Jason Steele, the Brighton goalkeeper, versus Jimmy Bullard, 18-hole match play. It's again, like Robbie, I'm going to save it for YouTube, Golf Life, but it was unbelievable. I also went to watch Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest, and we talked about dark arts the other week. Dark arts were in full force.
Really?
Time wasting, moving the ball.
How was Cole Palmer's skill level?
Oh, just a joke. I love that man.
How are you getting Premier League goalies on your show? Because surely the clubs care that they might get injured or something, don't they? Are you allowed to play golf?
They'll play golf.
Yeah.
What are they allowed to do and what aren't they allowed to do these days?
They're not allowed to go skiing and stuff.
They're not allowed to drive motorbikes, are they?
Motorbikes,
No.
Yeah. But they can play golf, and the press officers at the clubs have been great. To be honest, there's some clubs that aren't so helpful, but
is that how you get them? Go through the press office?
Well, Adam Lallana phoned me and said, "Get Jason Steele on. He'd give Jimmy a good game." So the players are sort of saying, "Get him."
Brilliant.
It's really cool.
Brilliant.
It's really good.
So, Tubes, how good is Cole Palmer then?
I think currently one of the best in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But he just doesn't seem to care, does he? Just seems
I just love him.
It's like Gaza. When we first watched Gaza, he just didn't seem to care. Just went on the pitch and enjoy himself.
Did you see when they're all fighting at the weekend?
Yeah, and he sat on the floor.
He just sat down and started laughing. I love the guy. We need to get him on here somehow.
He was thinking about chippy chips.
Yeah.
Joe, what have you been up to this week?
No, not really.
Again?
2 weeks in a row. Don't start. Yeah.
Have you not done any work?
I've done a bit of work.
done a bit of
What'd
work,
you do?
very little influencing of anyone or anything, really.
Not even domestic, like amateur influencing at home?
Not really.
No.
No.
Not for everyone.
Very quiet.
Are you a gardener, Joe?
I am a bit of a gardener.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind having a little potter around the garden. Not this time of year, it's a bit wet.
Yeah.
But
Do you have a pet?
got put down.
No, don't start me again. Right, on to me then. I did. I'm sorry about that too. Sunday brunch. We had the Dandy Warhols on, and it was they were just fantastic. Do you remember the Dandy Warhols?
I love them. Yeah, I love them. I interviewed them once back in the olden days, and they I loved it because Neil Smythe, the Colonel, was setting up his lights, and Courtney, the singer from Dandy Warhols, kept telling him it was wrong and told him how to do it. I could just see Neil seething, and me just
like that. Yeah,
me just going, "Yeah, no, he's right, Neil. You're doing that wrong." He hated it.
They're like proper artists. They're brilliant.
I love them.
They were like trying to sleep in the dressing room and stuff. They'd done a gig the night before.
Great
and that
band.
sort of stuff. And Eve was on as well. And what I like about Eve. Remember Eve? Who's that girl? All right, she's been living in London for 10 years. So I said, "Have you got a football team yet?" And she said, "Yeah, I have, just because of my husband." And I said, "Who is it?" "Chelsea." And I said, "Have you been to Chelsea?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "What do you think?" She goes, "It's kind of boring, isn't it?" No, it's not. So, yeah, Chelsea fan there. We did a poll last week. Should there be retrospective bans for diving? What do you think happened with that? Helen, what do you think happened with that?
I think 100% said yes.
90% said yes, 3% said no, and 7% said don't care. So
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot.
Just saying no.
do you know what I was thinking though? That because it kind of makes me mad that especially the one where you roll around holding your head. Yeah, that's the one where you get hit in the leg and you go around. You're basically just conning everybody, and you're conning the ref, and you're conning everything. I think that should be maybe a 10-match ban. You have to give a month's wages to children's charity or something. Because I do, because it's like
Pig charity.
Or I'd go children over pigs if I'm honest with you. But
Baby
They
pigs.
don't get any money.
Yeah, I'd still probably go with children over pigs. For
Children don't eat humans.
But I think when the managers come out and they criticise the refs, I don't think they should be allowed to do that if their players are rolling around on the floor, making the ref and the officials' jobs harder. It's a hard enough job already, isn't it? The game's quick, it's fast. It's not like in the old days. They're all athletes these days. There's no smoking at half time or any of that. No milky tea at half time now. It's energy drinks. These guys are athletes running around, and the officials need as much help as they possible. They don't need diving around cheating, do they? Match ban. What do you think?
I think 10 match ban's quite strong for him.
Not enough. Season ban.
Yeah.
But yeah, something needs to be done about it.
Stamp it out.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think? Because quickly at the weekend, fair enough for Forest doing time wasting because they were down to 10 men and they had to do it. But it's the one with the goalkeeper waste time, and they get booked, but they never get a second booking because they carry on doing it. I think that would set, the stall out if you sent a keeper off for time wasting.
Yeah,
I saw some great goalkeeper time wasting on Saturday. I was at Norwich v Hull, and I think Norwich have fallen up, so I'm not sure how much you need to time waste in that circumstance in the last few minutes. But the ball gone behind. The ball boy went and got the ball to hand it to the goalkeeper. George Long, he just took it out of his hand and threw it back over the barrier and then climbed over the barrier. Okay, that's just class.
That was what he was doing on Saturday.
We've got lots of questions coming in from our readers. Graham Moore says, who decided to put Meatloaf for an episode of Soccer M? And can't remember who sent this one in. Which player in history would you like to see in the Premier League? We will answer those both on Friday's edition of the Quiz and Questions and Quiz. We've got E's coming in from our listeners. Helen, you got some over there?
I have. We're going to start with some fans at ease. David O'Mara says e-tickets. So bring back the printed match ticket. He wants match tickets back. They're so losable, though.
Yeah, though, I've got to say, my girlfriend got an e-ticket this year for her season tickets at Fulham. and then they make them so they're non-transferable. So if you go away or do anything, you can't just hand them to a friend. So she phoned up and said, I've changed my phone, I've got a smartphone, got the plastic ones, so now she can hand them out to other people so they can go into the game.
Beating the system.
Because that's not, if you spent all your money on season tickets, you should be able to hand them to someone else, shouldn't you? You know what I mean? If you buy tickets to Mary Poppins in the West End, you've got to be able to give it to someone else if you're not going.
Yeah, beating the system, and she's sticking it to the man.
Yeah, sticking it to the man.
She's standing up to the woke nonsense.
Paul says E for England captain Marvel Brian Robson. That's Brian with a Y.
Player.
Great.
Absolute player.
Esteban Rodriguez, which I thought was a typo. I thought but Rodriguez is a surname. I thought it was Rodriguez, but there are Rodriguez's. Esteban Rodriguez says evolution, how the game has changed since Soccer AM first aired. And it's mad how at the time we thought we were living in the best of the football era, because it had all crescendoed in the 90s, hadn't it? Where footballers were becoming millionaires.
Yeah.
And now how it's gone even further. It's unthinkable how the game has changed from when we thought it was the best to now.
Well, I think the biggest evolution when we were on air, Helen, is the fact we used to be able to get footballers. So we'd have, I don't know, young footballers or injured footballers, whatever. We'd have Rio, we'd have, who would else would come on? Joe Cole, all those guys would come on. Frank LeBeuf we had on. I'm thinking of all the Chelsea players. We had lots of all around the kind of, yeah. we had all those players come on, and by the end of it, no club would let us have a player at all, would they? But end of my watch, no club. But the only ways we'd get clubs of players were through Adidas or Nike or through their charities, and you'd have to send tubes out to interview them or something. That was the way we'd do it.
I do think football was much better back then, though. As in watching football, the atmospheres. I think it was much better then.
I think it was a lot more honest, wasn't it? A lot more authentic. So we were just talking about with
rose-tinted glasses, guys.
Yeah, you could say that,
glasses.
you could argue that, but I think that's probably fair that the game was a lot more honest and authentic.
DHR just says E for excuses. There's no elaboration on that whatsoever. So is that players' excuses, managers' excuses?
Managers, I imagine. Yeah. What's the biggest excuse ever in history? No, yeah, well, that is. But the biggest excuse we've ever witnessed is obviously got to be Fergie and the grey kits. It's got to be in it. They couldn't see each other in the grey kits.
Yeah. Well, it was the players saying that, wasn't it?
No, it's Fergie, I thought. Oh, I don't know. I've got one here from Lincoln Chris, or Chris Lincoln. Lincoln Chris Lincoln. Easy. We did that last week. And Tom says ends, as in Stretford End or Cop. And I saw this, it intrigued me. So I thought, who's got the biggest end? That sounds like who's longest in the shower.
Yeah.
Who's got the biggest in a single stand home ends in Europe? I went Europe, because I thought, come on, let's be European. Because so who has got the biggest? You'll know it. You will know it. Oh. Who is it?
Oh, so you know?
Yeah, I've got them here. Okay. So I've got the top 10.
Biggest end? It's got to be Dortmund.
Yes, Joe.
The yellow wall.
Big yellow wall.
The yellow wall. Second. This is an amazing stand. Actually, I've been there once.
The whole end.
No.
It's not Tottenham.
Yes, it is, Helen. It's the South Stand at Spurs.
But that's only new, though, isn't it? It's only been around 2 or 3 years.
I know, but have you been there? It's up
massive.
When you look at it, it's brilliant. It's a shame you can't get to it. I mean, there's no public transport going to Spurs, but apart from that,
cockerel above it. It's brilliant.
It is that. When you look at that stand, it's amazing. We went there to watch. What did we go and watch?
We watched American football,
NFL together, didn't we? Yeah, that was it. Then you've got Cop at Liverpool. Then you've got the North Stand at Celtic. Virage Sud. Marseille. What does virage mean?
Sort of bank.
Okay.
South Bank.
Then the Cop at Chef Wednesday, Red Wall at Benfica, Homesdale Road Stand at Palace.
Really?
8,500.
Wow.
Then Lazio 8,000.
Hang on. Roma must be exactly the same.
Yeah, Lazio and Roma 8,000. Yeah, so 24,000 in the Yellow Wall, 17,500 in the Spurs South Stand, Cop 12,000. So it's quite right. We're on to Ari's now. Helen will choose the winner. Tube's in the lead with 2 wins. Robbie 1 win. Helen 1 win. Joe and Tim 0 wins. Helen wears the crown. Helen, have you got your crown there so we can see you in the crown?
Well, first of all, I was going to flip my win to Joe. It's been bugging me all week that I thought dribbling was better than dance
I'm
off.
not sure we're allowed that, are we?
Retrospective.
No, you can't. Well, does that happen in football? You can't go. They should have had a penalty. Well, no, I think the win has to stay.
Some sending offs get overturned though.
Yeah, but not on victory. When has ever?
Let her speak.
So I put it to the dubious letters panel.
Right.
No such thing.
Secret team of 3 people that you can't know about, and they kind of, I mean, it might be something to do with the crown that Tim told me to have ready.
Oh, what? So
also,
I get it because you couldn't be bothered to go and find a crown from a joke shot.
No,
Sorry, this is not happening. No one's ever overturned the result of a football match in the past. We've got to take this seriously, or not at all. We can't just go.
Right.
3 weeks ago, Tube. So I'm not sure. I'm revisiting that one. Not a chance. Helen, you won. What's your E?
What colour crown do you want? Red, blue, pink, or green?
Green.
She's got a selection.
Yep.
Well done.
Paper.
She's gone paper.
Christmas.
No.
What's your E, Helen?
Yeah.
Eye masks. And I am going to throw this out to the crowd straight away. So many footballers have played with cheekbone injuries or eye socket injuries, and they play in eye masks.
Okay, yeah.
And I want to say, I want to go around the room and say, who do you immediately think of when I say name a footballer who's played in an eye mask? Because we've all got one.
Who are you starting with?
I was going to go Edgar Davids, but did he play an eye mask or just glasses?
Well, glasses.
No, just glasses.
Yours.
Petr Cech.
Did Petr Cech's hat count? Is that an eye mask?
Yeah. That's a skull
Well,
cap. It's a skull cap. It's not an eye mask.
I don't think any of them are eye
He
masks.
did have-
They all have eyes.
Gaza
Yeah.
played in one, didn't he?
Seriously, his eye.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, when De Wolf, whatever his name was, the Dutch guy, elbowed him at Wembley, and he had to wear that eye mask for a bit. You could still
Yes,
tell it was him underneath the mask.
Yeah, Phantom of the Opera.
Did he keep lifting up and going, look, it's me?
So does nobody else go eye mask? Gary Mabbott. Gary
Yes.
Mabbott with his whole with his eye mask.
Yeah.
It was John Fashion who elbowed him in
Right.
the thing.
Good.
For me, it's Tim Sills. Tim Sills for Torquay United, because he played in a playoff final
Yeah.
at Wembley and
Steve-O.
scored
Yeah.
in his Zorro mask.
Yeah, great day.
Yeah.
Shut your
Now you say it.
Yeah.
It brings
What
back
year was that
memories.
again?
Oh, I don't know. But
CeeLo.
82?
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah, of course.
2009,
That was what it was.
2009.
Probably his
But
best, I'd say.
CeeLo, yeah.
Tim and Tube. Chelsea have had loads. JT's had one. Ramirez. Yeah, he had his own name on his. Petr Cech, it is true, he did have his helmet thing, but he had to add an eye mask to it after an injury. So there we are. Yeah. And Alberto Aquilani played for Italy, and he had something that was like it looked a bit leathery, and it had kind of studs in it, so it looked a little bit medieval.
Oh, nice.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, it was quite weird.
Well, Helen, go on, sorry.
Oh, Mbappe in the summer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Come on!
That was
It's easy to
good.
forget about him, though, when you've got CeeLo, haven't you?
Yeah.
When he, just an interesting stat, when Mbappe asked on Twitter, he put on Twitter, he just said mask ideas, please. He had 23,000 replies.
Wow.
Influencer.
Yeah, he can influence people.
Yeah.
So, right.
That is interesting, but there's absolutely not a chance that's going to win this week, is there? Unless we're
I don't know. I quite
unless
like eye masks.
unless we're really bad.
I just don't think they're eye masks.
Osimhen.
They're the masks of the other bits. Eye masks are the things you put over your eyes when you go to sleep.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But you can't call them face masks, because we all know now that face masks cover the lower bit. So they're eye masks. They protect the eye and the cheekbone.
Orbital area masks.
Yeah. Tubes, on to you. You haven't got a lot of competition there, mate. What have you got?
I'm going to go E for experience.
Oh,
Now,
God.
We're all
Helen's still in the run, isn't it?
What?
we had some amazing experiences on Soccer AM, and now we're all back together here. So my best experience was playing at Wembley.
Yes.
The new Wembley
Yeah.
for the.
Yes.
I'm one of the first people in the world to do that. The Badgers team.
We were the first
Yeah.
team. We
Yeah.
did the ramp up.
Yeah.
I'm the first goalkeeper to win a trophy at the new Wembley
We won.
Stadium.
Yeah, we
the
won,
ramp
didn't
up.
we?
Well, what a ramp up means is they had to test the ground for emergency stuff and getting people in and out and where the turnstiles work and all that. So they put on a charity match, didn't they? Was it a charity or just a fun match? And we were one of the. It was a little.
It was a fun
3
day.
teams,
It
wasn't
was
it?
unbelievable. So that was my best
Yeah.
experience. But I want to go down the worst experience route because my worst experience was meeting Steve Coogan. When I did a film junket.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was absolutely horrendous.
Why?
Because he hated me.
You.
Hated me.
Why did he hate you?
I don't know.
Genuinely.
He just hated me. So I walked in there, and the cameraman was behind him. There's 2 cameras in a junket, and he was like, "Good luck, good luck, good luck." And I was like, "All right, good." So I asked him a question. I said, I did a rap, hated it. Then I was like, "Who's the funniest man in the world, Steve?" And he just went, "Not you."
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I was like, "Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware of that. But who is?" And he went, "Not you." And I went, "Okay." Then he went. So it was horrendous. So I thought, well, I'll give this one up. So went to shake his hand, wouldn't shake my hand, it was absolutely horrendous. But I want to know, what's your worst experience?
Can I just say, sticking up for Steve Coogan, 2 things. Firstly, I interviewed him on Brunch, and he was really nice, and he was a good guy. And but I had met him years ago when he went through a bit of a stage, didn't he? And he was a bit rude to us all, but that was outside a pub, so oh, Alan Partridge,
Yeah.
us to sling our hooks. But the other thing is those junkets, they're so soulless and boring and hard work. I'm sure Helen, me, I don't know if we did it together, but we had to do those things where you'd sit and talk to like 10 radio journalists in a row or something, and everyone you try to make it funny or exciting, and it's kind of
Yeah, I mean, I bet he's a great guy. He just didn't like me and wasn't in a good mood that day. But it was like that was my worst experience at soccer.
Do you hate him now? Do you refuse to watch anything?
No, I don't
he
hate
does?
anyone. I'm a lover.
Oh, yeah. I'm a Lovejoy, not a fighter. Who's
Worst experience?
yeah.
Soccer dog coats.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, we got given. There were some dog coats that were basically like they were supposed to football team, but they were just basically the colour of different football teams. You get like a
Sunderland one.
Sunderland one or something like that, and Joe and I were modelling them, and we got just beforehand. Tim just went, "I think you need to take your tops off for it." Like, what? I said, "Yeah, I think you need to do it topless."
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, you sure it wasn't Andy Harris who made you do
Andy
that?
wasn't there anymore. He'd left.
Oh no! So you have to blame me.
So all right then. So we're just like topless, like just crawling around, me and Joe, pretending to be dogs while you were discussing about these things.
This podcast is a bit traumatic for me because every now and then I think I was horrific.
Therapy for us. but I remember just a friend of mine just messaging saying messaging afterwards saying that his boss had messaged him going, "Your friend's doing the most demeaning thing I've ever seen," and then he messaged saying, "I thought at one point he was going to sniff the other dog's bottom."
Now, guys, as good as this is, and we can come back to this, got something special for you now, guys. One of the all-time great guests we used to have on Soccer Am was Neil Razor Ruddock. When we heard he had a book out, we thought, do you know what? We must get him on. His book is called Toxic, Tackling Razor and Finding the Real Me. It is Neil Razor Ruddock. Hey, mate.
Yes.
How are we?
Morning, Neil.
Very good to see you. Are we calling you Neil or Razor these days? Because
You call me Razor. Yeah, Razor, Neil. Anything. What you call me behind me back, I don't want you to be calling me that, all right?
I've got your book here, and I was reading it all yesterday. I've got to say, by the way, anyone who loves football, get this book because you can't put it down. The stories in there are great, but I got quite sad at some stages with it, Razor, when, the fact that from the outside, you entertained us so much. When you came on Soccer AM, we couldn't wait to get you on because you were always so much fun. And on the football pitch, turning up Kansnar's collars and smashing players, and also, obviously great free kicks and everything else. You were just so good to watch. It was so sad that there was another side of you which wasn't happy.
Yeah, I think we were trying to work out where I started drinking, where I sort of started eating to sort of take away some of the pain. It was when it was the FA Cup final. It was in '96, I think it was, Liverpool, Manchester United, where the night before I thought I was playing. I played in the quarterfinal, semi-final, played the last 6 games of the season. And then I was dropped the night before. It was my birthday. And I was fuming. And back then, there was only 2 subs. There was a goalkeeper and an outfield player. There was only 2 subs at the time. So, I knew I wanted to be sub. So I just walked in the dressing room and started drinking Stella. And because I thought I'd done everything right. I'd trained right. I'd played right. I'd done everything right. I'd been healthy. And so you played in semi-final, quarter-final, whatever. And I just think they kicked me up the old Niagaras, and I didn't know how to respond. I just started drinking, and I became a secret drinker. No one really knew, and I just couldn't help myself from then. And when you finish, it sort of snowballed out of control, and I couldn't help myself. Then I became addicted to food, and it just got worse and worse, and I just hid it well.
I was thinking that the football culture these days is so much different to the one that we knew back in the late 80s, the 90s. When you look at how football is now, how do you think that you would have got on playing today with this kind of culture? Because we don't hear about players going out on the drink after a game. It's just not, unless it's kept very secret. How do you think you would have got on?
Well, I think, good question, mate. I think that old players ruled our lives. If the old players, when I was coming through the ranks, when old players said we're going out, we was going out. It was about team bonding, so you had to go out. I think, then I become that old player, and I was telling young players we got to go out and have a drink, team bonding. But I think the drinking culture sort of went out the game. Now, old players don't drink, in the game now. The old players don't drink, so the young players don't drink. I think if young players go out and get drunk, the older players tell them now, stop drinking, behave yourself, you're a professional footballer. So I think that is what's changed in the game, and also what's changed in the game, that they're so good now and they're so honest and they're good professionals that when I played, managers used to rule our lives. Now players are ruling managers' lives. That's how good footballers are at the moment. But I think their drinking culture's gone out because the older players don't drink anymore, and they used to rule our lives.
Yeah. We used to hear things as well, like they had half-time Jaffa cakes and jelly babies. Yeah. I can't imagine there being anything like that at half-time now.
I know. When at Southampton, we used to have Chetikov. We used to have like a shot of brandy before we run out if it was cold.
Wow.
I was only 17. I wasn't allowed to drink. I was 17. So, Dennis Rowe, the coach there, used to go, Chetikov. He used to give you a bit of brandy with honey in it as well, obviously, because that helps. It's not real alcohol if it's got honey in it, is it? That's how times change. But I think that why I was such reckless, and I was a bit of a loon, that I was a Millwall fan as a kid, so went to Tottenham, sponsored by Holston. Went to Liverpool, sponsored by Colesberg. Then went to West Ham, sponsored by Dr. Martens. I mean, what chance did I have in
football? There's a theme there, isn't there?
I loved reading the book. The bit that made me sad, though, was the bit where you were coming to the end of your career. And on Soccer AM, we watched a lot of players, didn't we? We had all the old players come on. And filling that gap's really hard for a pro, isn't it? And the bit you made, which I loved, we're talking about because I understood it so well, because I had a bit when I left Soccer AM, was the bit where you're sitting in the dressing room with the team every single day, and then suddenly you're on your own, aren't you? Feeling lonely.
That's the thing, mate. You all know me quite well, lad. And I went to a boys' school. So I was surrounded by boys. As soon as I left school, I went into football. So I was surrounded by men. So all my life, I've been like 30 men around me every day of my life. And as you say, when you retire, you just sat there on your own. I couldn't wait to retire because my knees were hurting, my body weren't doing as what it should do, and everything was hurting. I couldn't play as well as I could. And so I thought when I retire, it's going to be great, because we had a few footballers get a pension at 35, so everything was there for me. But as you say, I was sitting on my backside for a couple of weeks on my own. No men, no lads to have a laugh with, and the only place I could find lads was down the pub. You go Witherspoons. That's where you're going to find lads.
Down the spoons.
So that's what I used to do. I had a rota. I knew every day where the gang of lads would be, and I had to go down that pub just to get that sort of buzz and laughter as well. Because I think if you mentally you are not right. I mean, women go to the coffee shop, they have a cup of coffee, and they talk about problems. Men, if they got problems, they go down the pub after a couple of pints and problems are gone. They don't talk about anything, just laugh.
Yeah,
I think that is a big problem when it comes to lads.
Did going into management ever cross your mind? Was ever that an option for you?
Would you trust me with your football club, son?
There's my answer. Thanks, Razor.
He's still got.
I'll be better. I'll tell you what, I'll do a good job for Man United at a minute. That's for sure.
Razor, it's Tubes. On the subject of managers, who is your favourite one that you played under, and why?
Good question.
Tubes, can I just say I'm loving your hair?
Thank you so much. Yours is double decent as well, pal.
Play golf. We've had a little something done to our hair.
Up the transplant.
What colour dye is that? What's that?
Albany.
I think Venables was the greatest manager and coach. I think a lot of managers don't really do a lot of coaching now. They come out and say their piece, and that the people that they really trust, take care of their football team. But I think Venables was both, not only a good man-to-man manager, it was also tactically an unbelievable coach. And he used to know we was having a drink too many, but he used to let us get away with it until we took the mickey. Then he'd come on top. He knew where I'd been. I don't know where. He had spies everywhere. You couldn't get away with nothing. But on a personal note, when he sold me when I was a kid at Tottenham and he let me go, he said, "Son, go away, improve yourself, and I'll buy you back." Because he just bought Richard Gough, and I was about third or fourth in line, fourth or fifth in line to get the centre half place. And he said, "Go away, improve yourself, I'll buy you back." And I thought, he just wants to get rid of me. And I went to Southampton. And he bought me back 3.5 years later. But
that's class.
Even when I was playing for Southampton, he'd see me a match of the day or I'd see clips of me, and he'd ring me up if I made mistakes. He'd still ring me up, keep in touch with me, and tell me what I was doing wrong.
That's great.
So he even wasn't my manager, but he still had his eye on me and still cared about my football career, and he helped me as well when I weren't playing for him. So
that's
what a lovely man.
That's amazing.
Did he know you were drinking brandy before kick-off?
Oh, you see, sometimes I played. Well, I should have had two.
Razor, you talked about what got you into overeating and drinking. What made you turn things around? Because you're looking great now.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. It was Harry's Heroes, the TV show Harry's Heroes, where we had, 50-year-old odd men, 50s, that sort of age bracket, 48 to 50s, got 15 of us or so. A TV show just to get the word out about their mental and physical health to men, because as I say, we don't get ourselves checked out, men. It's quite simple. You can go and see the doctor. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can go. But we're scared to go there in case it's bad news and you can't go football on a Saturday, or you can't go and play golf. You know what I mean? You're not well enough. So we're scared of that. So it was a message to get the message out there. Go to the doctor, medically, physically, mentally, just go and get yourself checked out. And it was me that had the problem. I started jogging around. I went dizzy. I was getting headaches and going dizzy and all this. And I thought, no, it's dementia. I'm thinking, oh, no, it's dementia, because that was that's when it first came out until about 6 years ago. It's massive now, the debate about it. And so I think, actually, I used to hit 50 balls a day. Even in the warm-up, you've been to football, all of you. The coach would stay on the halfway line, he'd smash a 50-yard ball, and the two centre-halves in the warm-up would come and head the ball like 100 yards. Yeah. That was your warm-up before a game. So I'm thinking, it's dementia, and I went to see his specialist. I wasn't wired up back then. He said, "No, Razor, it's not dementia. It's not dementia." He said, "You've got a bad heart. You're going to have an heart attack if you don't." I went, "Oh, thank God for that. It's not dementia." It's my heart. So in the end, that just I can't remember the procedure, cardiac or whatever it is, but that to stop my heart, restart my heart. He had the same. They brought David Ginola. David Ginola had a heart attack when his heart stopped, and it's 7 times. After they'd stand back, and if you don't come back 7 times, that's it. You're a goner. And he come back to life the 7th time. Wow. It was the last one to give it one more go, and he come back to life. And with me, so basically I had to stop my heart, restart my heart. Mine was the 2nd time. So I was lucky. So I had that. Then I've had to have the pacemaker. I've had to have the gastric sleeves. I've lost nearly 10 stone now. Well done, just to take the pressure off my heart, because, I might not be here now. But I'm in a good place. The knees are good. Don't any of you age, by the way? I'm just looking at you.
I've got no hair, Razor. Look at me. I need the number of your hair transplant, because yours is better than Tubes. Listen, Razor, thanks so much for joining us today. Your book is fantastic.
Oh, I love you all.
Do you know what I mean? I have not put that down. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's such a great book. And you gave us so much entertainment, both on Soccer AM and also on the pitch. So thanks a lot.
And you're looking great, mate.
Yeah, lovely to see you looking so well, Razor.
Hey. And lots of love to Leah.
She's there, and she's baby. There's
Leah.
Cheers, Razor.
Cheers, Razor.
She ain't done her hair. She ain't going to come on. She ain't done her hair, she said. She's not going to come on.
She's beautiful.
Top man. Right, so that was Razor. So we were just interrupted on our worst experiences, Joe.
Watching Tubes' interview with Steve Coogan.
And that's Helen's as well.
Yes, Helen's perfect.
No,
there we go.
No, mine involves Tubes as well.
Oh.
I set up. Tubes met Slash. Okay.
Oh no, yeah.
Right. And Tubes rhymed Slash with mash.
Nice.
Potato. Got mashed potato out of his pocket and rubbed it all over his face. At that particular point, Slash looked away, looked back. This bloke had mashed potato all over his face. I knew the manager of the guitar shop that Slash was going to open, and I'd set it up.
Yeah.
So I had a text from the manager, Nigel, who just went, "This has not gone well."
And
that
hadn't
was
gone well.
I nearly got my head kicked in by the his
Yeah.
bouncers and stuff, and he cancelled the day, and I got hate mail and everything.
Really?
Yeah, but
On that note,
yeah, that was my worst experience.
should we have
call you
Stat
up?
Chat?
Yes.
Oh, start chat.
I've got two great stats for you here. Menzies says goalkeeper Steve Banks is the only player to win the Scottish Cup 3 times with 3 different clubs without playing for Celtic or Rangers. He played for Hearts, Dundee United and St Johnstone, with the added bonus that he did this without playing in any cup minutes. Who's obviously on the bench for all 3 of them. Great stat, Menzies. Dan Glebet says Robert Earnshaw is the only player to score a hat-trick in all 4 top divisions in England in the FA Cup, League Cup and a full international. Blows the Darren Huckabee stat out of the water. Take that, Robbie Knox.
I'll pass it on to him.
Did Darren Huckabee like being on the show last week and make it into the papers?
He did, yeah. Because it was in the papers talking about how it's an unbelievable transformation, and it's an unrecognisable Premier League footballer. And he messaged me going, "What have you got me into?" I was thinking, well, it's not the worst thing, is it? Oh no, this guy's been working at the gym so much, he looks really hot.
Looks really hot.
Yeah.
That was Stat Chat.
Good jingle.
Just Tim and Joe to go. Who should we go to first? Tim. Let's go to Tim. Shall we, Joe?
If you say so.
Do you want to go first?
Not really.
Okay. I'm going really niche this week because someone sent in E for Euphoria. And I thought that's quite a good one when you go to football, yeah. And then, but the only thing is, every time I hear the word Euphoria, all I can think of is me doing it as a line to set you up for a joke in the locker.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah. So I say Euphoria, and then you say, no, there's 5 of us. And it got me thinking about just that nightmare of the Friday nights sitting in the aircraft hangar with me. Like, we'd written the jokes by then, say, and then I had to learn, being crap at acting and crap at memorising lines, I had to learn all the... I was a straight man, wasn't I, in that whole thing of coming out the lockers. I had to remember all the lines to set you guys up.
Yeah.
So we used to have to do a little mini rehearsal, do it probably 11, 12 o'clock at night.
It was awful.
Trying to come up with the jokes, all 3. But usually me, you, Fenners, probably Rocket.
No, Rocket was in edit. I mean, when we were in a place where we thought, right, should we try and rehearse it? It was like, right, get Rocket up here. So he'd come running up out of edit. But we would sit there for hours, wouldn't we? Just like mental blocks, just like really tired on a Friday night, trying to come up with rubbish.
So I've got 2 punchlines that I always remember. So I'm going to be the straight man because I think you replied to them both. I don't know I don't ever remember the build up to these jokes. So we've just done that one. The build up was Euphoria. Someone said something and I went Euphoria, and you went no. That was the 5 of us. Don't you mean chiropractor?
I got it.
I can't remember.
I stand corrected.
Yay!
Same as like about an
So
orthopedic.
you said something like chiropractor. You said I went to see a chiropodist, and I said, "Don't you mean a chiropractor?" And you say, "I stand corrected."
Right.
Don't you?
I don't remember that.
You wrote that joke.
Did I?
I was with you when you wrote it. Yeah. How about this one? Someone says something to me, da 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 da, and I then say to you, "Does he know?"
Yeah.
And you say,
No, it was Robert De Niro.
No, it was De Niro.
De Niro.
Does he know? You said some bloke called Robert. And I said, does he know? And he said,
yeah, we were like mafiosos or something, weren't we? We were like, does he know? I said, no, De Niro.
And you went, Robert. And I said, does he know? And you went, no, De Niro. Anyway, that was it.
I think I'm in the lead here.
No way! You weren't involved in the locker stuff, were you?
No.
Tubes?
I came out a couple of times, made a few cameos. But
I had the best job in that because I was
You just
ginger
come out
for most of the time and I was mute.
Rod.
So I just had to, Neil had to learn all the lines and I'd just get all the laughs.
I'd just say, though, when we were doing the jokes, what I would do is I'd look over at Helen, and if Helen was laughing, I thought, we've landed this. There was nothing better than watching Helen laugh, because if Helen wasn't laughing, I was thinking, oh, we're dying. We are dying. We're dying. If you look over and Helen's laughing away, I was thinking, yes, we've actually nailed this one.
And you had the fans of the week just sitting there.
Yeah,
didn't you?
exactly.
Just, like, watching
Exactly. All right, what's your E? I think I'm in the lead, by the way. I've just got this feeling because I know it's niche. I've taken a different avenue here. I know it's niche, but because it talks about punchlines and stuff.
Not sure.
I've had to put my specs on for this.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to give you a question this week for E. Has the game become more expensive?
Yes.
E for expensive.
Yes, it has.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. But I took it.
Yeah.
Should we leave it there then? Scratch that, is it? Right, let's start with some tickets.
It definitely has.
It definitely has.
Yeah.
I'll give you some tickets here, right? So these are all face value tickets. Italia 90 World Cup semi-final ticket, England versus West Germany. How much do you reckon that was?
20 quid. What was it? What year?
£60.
Italia 90.
All right.
Gaza, Tears, Turin.
£60.
How much
£35
ticket for that was?
50.
10 quid.
Jesus,
10
that's
quid.
value.
Euro 96, England, Scotland. How much for that? How much the ticket for that?
£100.
Don't know.
10 quid.
30 quid.
Wow.
10 quid.
Really?
Well, it was a group game.
Yeah.
And then a Euro 96 ticket for the England semi. England, Germany again,
Yeah.
wasn't it? How much was that?
40 quid.
No, that was 60 quid.
Oh, right,
So it did
okay.
go up for the semi-final. A Euro 24 ticket, England versus Spain, the final this summer. Cheapest ticket for that,
100 quid.
80 quid. So it's
80
not that
quid.
bad, really.
No,
It's
actually,
60
that's
quid
right.
for Euro 96.
No, I think we've lost the plot. That we think that's not bad. It's like every time I go
Well,
for a
no,
beer and they
But
say
when you consider it was
750,
60
I
quid
go,
in
oh, yeah.
Euro 96,
Yeah.
and it's now 80 quid
much-
for the
what did you say?
final.
And I thought it would be 150.
Did you say England, Scotland there at Wembley?
Yeah.
How much? Because I went.
That was a tenner.
I only spent a tenner on my.
I was at that
Yeah.
game
Is that what
as
it was?
well.
I was at that game, and my mate Chip charged me a lot more than a tenner for that.
Did he? Was
Yeah. I've got to get him on the phone.
Don't let
Yeah.
Sarah win.
Premier League tickets, right? When Premier League started, because obviously football didn't
Yeah.
exist before 1992. How much do you reckon a season ticket for Liverpool was? 1992, 93,
£112.
385 quid.
250 quid.
That's what I said.
For
That's
Liverpool.
well done,
Is that
Robbie.
what- did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. What do you want, a medal?
Yes.
Right.
That's my medal.
Fast forward to this season.
Oh.
Your most expensive Premier League cheapest adult season ticket is what?
Chelsea. We're always the most expensive, aren't we? 600 quid.
No, your cheapest one this season. West Ham, innit? West Ham.
That's the cheapest one or cheapest most expensive one?
The cheap.
What?
It's
I
the
thought you were
Right.
saying the most expensive, cheapest one.
if you
Cheapest one.
the cheapest one across the 20 clubs,
Yeah.
What does most expensive cheapest mean?
the most
Most
expensive,
expensive cheapest
one.
means the most expensive cheapest.
Anyway, right, it's
this
Arsenal.
wins, if this-
Arsenal.
This wins.
Just
I'm
over
going
a
to be
grand.
so angry.
Well, I don't decide it, do I? Helen decides it. So
I know if Helen gets
it's going well in it, Helen.
I like
Anyway, that's the end of REs.
I probably won't do one then.
Have you not done one? Have you not done one?
No.
Oh, you better do yours quickly then.
Okay, I'll go very quickly. European Championships.
Yeah, why?
Because they 3 reasons. Fill a lovely gap between World Cup years. No third or fourth playoff. And easy to qualify if you support Scotland because there's less.
Yes. Good. You go, don't you, to Scotland?
I do go to Scotland again next week.
Are you? Who
I've
you
got to leave here 15 minutes early. Is that right? Portugal.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Thank you.
That's quite good. Is that it? Yeah, that's quite a good one.
that it?
Before
Well, no, but he said in a rush and he clearly wants to move on, so read the room, Joe.
I think it's a better tournament than the World Cup, the Euros.
No way.
Helen's going to decide which one wins, but but before we get to what's wrong with football, our lovely listeners have spotted some woke nonsense out there.
Oh no, not woke nonsense.
Yeah, Lee Todd says light shows before night matches where the floodlights blink on and off to music, woke nonsense. I actually think I actually like it. I really like it. Dad's Our Job podcast says we say choice of shoes for pundits. We want proper shiny shoes with laces, none of this half shoe, half trainer with a white sole rubbish. Utter woke nonsense.
Yeah.
Also, none of those Ugg slippers that Rio Ferdinand wore at the Euros. Woke nonsense. Joe Mead says utter woke nonsense. Goalkeepers playing in short sleeve shirts.
Oh, I don't know. That's woke nonsense.
No.
Emmy Martinez.
That's the opposite of woke nonsense.
Yeah. But surely it's up to them, isn't it? What they want to do.
It's woke nonsense, Joe. Helen,
Can we get a jingle for woke nonsense?
Yeah.
Oh, don't ask that.
Yeah.
Don't ask that.
Woo, woo, woo. Woke nonsense.
Woke yeah, okay.
There you go, just copy that.
Yeah.
Click that off.
Helen, before you decide this week's winner, what's wrong with football?
Yeah. What's wrong with football? Chaz Dingle says replays on TV. They show them and you're missing the live action. Why can't they do picture in picture? I get more annoyed when they follow the action and I want to see the replay. So I don't know about that one.
No, I like picture. I love picture in picture. I love it. I think picture in picture is brilliant. I'd have more of it.
Only if you've got a massive telly. If you've got a
You're watching on your phone.
If you're watching on phone, you're in trouble.
Yeah, good
fair
point. Good point.
YT0098 says players not putting the ball in the quarter circle at corners.
Oh,
I know it shouldn't, but it drives me mad.
It's just
No,
the ball's just got to go over the.
Yeah.
But they just try and get it over.
Yeah.
It's just like what?
Why not just stick
It
it
makes
in?
no difference.
What does it matter? It's
It
a foot
doesn't.
if you
Yeah.
can't
Exactly.
kick the ball.
Yeah.
Foot and an
Do
extra
you know what?
foot.
A lot of footballers can't beat the first man on a corner as well. I find it so bizarre.
You sound like my nan. She used to say that they're paid all this money and they can't beat the first man.
It is
I'll do that
bizarre.
for 90 grand.
SPH 1892V. Added time. Absolutely nobody needs 100 minutes of football. That just made me laugh.
Yeah, that is brilliant, but I disagree because I love the fact that when the players are trying to time waste, the rest just going, well, we're on a clock here.
It comes up 13 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Right, Helen, the big decisions are on you. I'm feeling pretty confident this week. Helen,
mine's in the bag.
Can we just remind what everyone's done? I've forgotten, Helen. You must remember what everyone's done.
Well, I did eye masks. Tuesday experience.
Yeah, solid, really good. Got everyone talking.
Yeah.
Joe did expensive.
Very well researched.
I did Euphoria.
I didn't really get to do one, so I said something and then we moved on.
Yeah.
I've been slightly discriminated against here.
Yeah.
You did Euro.
Euphoria, that was niche, but it was good because it got us talking about the good old days. Looks like I'm.
But the thing is,
Mine had the best discussions.
Who's going to win?
Yeah, it bore
It's easy.
And what did you do?
Tim. What did I do?
Eyes.
Oh, yeah, I must. That's right.
Oh my God!
It wasn't very memorable. I think I've won it.
Yeah, I've won
I
this.
didn't even finish. Victor Osimhen at Galatasaray still wearing his.
Yeah.
I just got to say Euros and we moved on, Helen. Don't you worry about it.
Facundo Sava at Fulham, who wore one for funsies down his sock, his celebration, goal celebration that he used to put on.
I'm happy to give it to Helen.
No. I'm actually thinking of it being null and void this week and nobody wins because I thought you were all crap.
Oh. Well, they can't. That just can't happen. Pick a winner.
Okay, then, Tubes.
I think Tubes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
He always wins.
No, because I think about it.
That's
I think about what in the discussions lead up.
Absolute anticlimax. That's the end of this week's show. We will see you on Friday for the questions and quiz. See you then.